I've said it once and I'll say it a million times, but sometimes you need a cozy comfort game that is more than just farming. Don't get me wrong, I obviously really like a good simulation game, but sometimes I just want an adventure. I should be able to have my cake and eat it too, you know? I went hunting for all the in-betweeners, games that I'd classify as comfy, cozy little adventures without being too demanding and serious, for those times when I want a middle ground between Elden Ring and Harvest Moon. Here's a list of 8 easy breezy little adventure games. Exploring nature can be a hugely meditative experience, especially since you just get to take in the scenery and really be in the moment. In Jusant, you play as a lone adventurer exploring a desolate tower that is filled with remnants of lost civilizations. This is a little bit of a puzzle platformer, so you'll have to manage your stamina and figure out how best to use your tools to forge on ahead. You'll improve your skills the higher you climb, and there's not really one singular path to take, so you'll get to explore a little bit to find the best way up. And you have a little friend. This little creature explores right along with you, livening up the place by waking up nature and revealing clues about the past. Jusant is just a very pretty journey, traveling through different environments and just seeing what the world has to offer, all of course accompanied by a lovely soundtrack. Jusant is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. I am so sad that it took me this long to find this game, especially with the huge trend of mushrooms that happened a couple years ago, but luckily that past wrong has since been corrected. Look at this game! In Smushi Come Home, you play as a tiny little mushroom who's lost in the woods. Now you're off on a big adventure, exploring the forest, chatting with all the other little creatures, and honing your skills as you try to make it back home. You'll be solving some little puzzles and doing some very light platforming in order to make your way through the trees and through little caves, and you get to learn real-life mushroom facts. You have a mycology journal. I love learning things, so this is like a great combo of everything that I could possibly ask for. Smushi Come Home is available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. Eurogamer described this game as the digital equivalent of hot chocolate, and I actually can't think of a better way to introduce it. The town of Moonberry is like the quintessential storybook town, happy, friendly, and peaceful. In Potion Permit, you play as the new resident chemist in Moonberry, a town that prefers to rely on more traditional healing methods until the mayor's daughter falls gravely ill. Now that you've been assigned to bring the wonders of modern medicine to the town, it is your job to keep the town's residents fit and healthy. Potion Permit reminds me a little bit of Rune Factory, except it's not quite as intense. Life is much more relaxed here, though you will be venturing out into the wilderness to gather ingredients from both plants and monsters. You'll get to build up your relationships with the residents and also build your reputation while enjoying the peaceful town and countryside in your downtime, all with your faithful dog by your side. Potion Permit is available on PC, PS4 and 5, the Xboxes, Nintendo Switch, and is verified on Steam Deck. It just kind of makes sense that this close to October, I include something that's a little spooky but still cozy. Beacon Pines is a cute and creepy narrative adventure that is set in the pages of a storybook. You play as both the main character and the kid reading the book, Luca. He and his friends seem to be the only ones noticing or even caring about the strange things that are happening in your town. You'll be sneaking out late with your friends to unravel the mysteries of what exactly is going on in Beacon Pines. Along the way, you'll collect charms that will allow you to replace words at certain points in the story to completely change the narrative, letting you really choose your own adventure. This game is described as a visual novel, but it's really more of a little bit of that and a lot of point-and-click adventure. It's a little spooky, but very cute, and I will warn you, more emotional than you think it's going to be. It's available on Nintendo Switch, Steam, and Xbox One, and is Steam Deck verified. Sometimes in life, you just need to slow down and get a little reacquainted with yourself. In Botany Manor, you play as Arabella Green, a retired botanist exploring her manor as she works to finish her final book. This was a game that I kind of picked up on a whim, but I really got sucked into it, and I genuinely wanted to keep playing in order to figure out every puzzle. The book you're working on is called Forgotten Flora, and the puzzles you solve will help you grow these plant specimens for research and documentation. Everything felt so satisfying to complete, though the puzzles were never too difficult. I just felt massively accomplished whenever I got my next plant to grow. Also, if I ever happen to get my own Victorian English manor, I'd want it to be exactly like this. There's fun hidden rooms, extravagant grounds, and beautiful gardens, and I loved learning about Arabella as I went through the rooms and her life. The game made me a little emotional, a little indignant at some points, and proud. Since the game is set in 1890, you learn about the troubles Arabella faced as a woman following a scientific career. I very rarely feel like I want to spend the time to get 100% completion, but doing so in Botany Manor felt like a reward rather than work. It's all just so satisfying. That's the only way I can describe it. This game is available on Steam with a demo available and is Steam Deck verified, but the game is also available on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch. I like games that don't take themselves too seriously, but also aren't massively ridiculous and over the top. There's only a few games that check that box for me, finding that nice little pocket of funny and weird, but Dave the Diver is definitely one of them. It took me a while to play this game. I don't even really have a good reason for ignoring it, but I'm really glad that I finally got around to it. It is honestly one of the better games that I've played recently, and is this perfect blend of a casual management sim and a funny adventure. During the day, you'll do some deep sea diving in search of fish to serve in your exotic sushi restaurant that you manage at night. You'll meet all sorts of eccentric customers, and there are plenty of jokes and funny scenes to keep this a lighthearted and fun story adventure. Plus, you'll get to explore the ocean. It's set in the very real environment of a blue hole that has over 200 kinds of sea creatures hanging out. It's available on Nintendo Switch, Steam, and is Steam Deck verified, and PlayStation 4 and 5. I know this game is pretty well known among the cozy gaming community, but it's really popular for a reason. I actually didn't play this game until earlier this year, but it quickly became one of my favorite little experiences. The game is a bit open-ended, so it can be relatively short, or you can take your time with it. A short hike is perfect for an afternoon adventure, and it really just kind of lets you kick back and explore. You're hiking to the top of Hawk Peak Provincial Park, but this is more of a casual stroll than a true hike. You can pick the path that you want to follow and just kind of see where it leads you. You'll get to meet other hikers on your journey, share in conversation and tips, swim by the shore, spend some time fishing in the river. The world is your oyster here. Since you can explore at your own pace, you might find that your short hike ends up a little longer than originally planned, but it is so easy to just get lost in the soundtrack and the vibes. This game is available on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Okay, yes, I know this is not a traditional cozy game, but as I have said, you decide what cozy means to you. For me, this is just one of my biggest comfort games. I love Fire Emblem Three Houses. I have sunk many hours into this game and played all of the paths, including the secret one, so it's very nice to be able to play something where I know exactly how things are going to turn out, like the old TV shows you go back to all the time, you know? Fire Emblem is a long-standing series, with the first one releasing in 1990, and it's a tactical JRPG. Your character is a mercenary, and then in the opening hours of the game, in a completely normal turn of events, you're asked to teach at Garrigmach Monastery. When you're not in battle, you're fulfilling your teacher duties after choosing to be head of one of the three houses, and building relationships with your students who are all around the same age as you, so it's kind of a weird but also fun dynamic. You can influence the relationships between other characters by pairing them in battle together to build their rapport. Some people thought this game was easier compared to the past Fire Emblem games, which I honestly kind of agree with, but this is such a triumph in narrative, battle systems, school systems, soundtrack, and it obviously has tremendous replay value. Fire Emblem Three Houses is only available on the Nintendo Switch. I think this wraps up this list of cozy adventure games. Sometimes you need to set up a little relaxation station and just chill out with a game where you do some activities and escapades that take you outside of the farming life. And I want to hear your recommendations. Even if you think it doesn't fit being cozy, that's fine. Obviously, I like things that break the mold a little bit and really test the limits of a genre. If it's cozy or comforting to you, that's all I need to hear. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in the next video.